And here we go. Welcome, everyone. I appreciate you taking a look at us today. I've got a very good friend of mine, Vik Malhi, who has been in the collaboration and VoIP side of training for quite some time now. Actually, his stats were pretty impressive when I first met him back in 2008, 2009. More than 30% of those folks who've gotten their CCIE voice had actually attended his training. So from there, he's gone on to, have his own company called Collab Cert. And what he brings to the table is awesome. But let me give Vik a chance to say hello and introduce himself. Go ahead, Vik.
Hi there, EMan. Thanks for the introduction and honored to be here on a call with you. So as EMan said, I'm a collaboration trainer, although EMan just had to teach me how to use Zoom that we're using right now. So the irony there, EMan's teaching me how to use collaboration tools today. Yes, I'm a CCIE trainer and working in the voice and collaboration field for about, too long to remember now, 15 years or so. So that's me. I've got this company. I was at a previous company that shall not be named, but you can Google that quite easily. And in 2014, I started my own business called Collab Cert. So that's enough about me.
Yep, very cool, very cool. So what we've got going on is always these discussions out there around the internet about what's going on here, what's been changed there. But I'd like to start with your opinion on the collaboration version 2. I mean, it took them long enough to freaking come up with a version 2, and now people are worried that they're sweating over something new. What's your opinion about this change?
Well, it was a very overdue change. I think they announced collaboration version 1, which was very similar to voice, back in May 2013. So we had to wait till January 2018 for the updates. In a way, they've always had a problem, the CCIE team have always had a problem keeping up to date with the technology. The technology moves so fast these days. So if you're in the Learning at Cisco team trying to come out with a blueprint, well, you announce it today, and a year's time, it's totally obsolete. Or maybe not totally obsolete, but it's getting on that way. So
close.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure the other tracks have the same thing in that the products change so quickly. So one of the things about the collaboration version 2 was, they announced it, but prior to that, the Learning at Cisco had announced this Agile Blueprints, which was a very important announcement, which allows Learning at Cisco to make more frequent changes with 4 months notice to the candidate, but you have more frequent changes more often, and there may not be massive changes, but more modular changes that are going to occur. So hopefully, you mentioned the point there, it took them long enough. Hopefully we're going to avoid the situation again with this modular approach. Every couple of years, maybe we're going to see a refresh that's in alignment with real world technologies.
Very good, very good. Well, the other conversation that's always going on, and it's even as old as dirt, actually, is, why the hell would I even go get my CCIE? I mean, there's no value in it. And I'm always showing those guys because it's usually the folks that have, haven't accomplished it or have no interest in it. Right? So there's opinions. But in your life, you've seen the value of the cert. What do you think of it today?
Yes, it's definitely, well, we're at 60,000 now, CCIE number 60,000. We've been in the industry a long time, and back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, the CCIE was much more of a rare commodity, and maybe its role has changed somewhat over time, but I still definitely think there's a lot of value there, as long as Cisco invest in it and they are keeping up with the technologies of today's world. The world's changing so fast. But to that point of 60,000 CCIEs, there's many different tracks now. So, data centers, a ton of them there, and security, collaboration, not just about switch. So of course the number's going to go up a lot faster. And also Cisco operating much more of a global company now. Look how many engineers are in Bangalore, for example. I think there's more engineers in Bangalore at Cisco than in San Jose, where I'm located in the headquarters. So the number has gone up. So I see from my experience in classes and my students, I see really two types of usage of the CCI. You have a person, an engineer, maybe on the younger side, who is more entry level. I would say entry level, but less than 3 years experience, and they're using this to kickstart their career. And
Yeah.
so that's very, very applicable. So, they can, a couple of years experience, they've got time, they probably haven't got kids, they probably don't have a huge mortgage to pay. They can probably spend the time and get the CCI. Nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
And then the other side of things is the CCI, someone with many, many years experience, but never quite got round to certifying. They want to rubber stamp what they've done at their levels, just like a degree or PhD. So there definitely is a lot of value in these two situations. Maybe it wasn't what it was, it isn't what it was 15 years ago, where you can guarantee a huge salary and you'd be, a rare commodity. Just look, me and you hang out at the CCIE parties once in a while at Cisco Live. Go back 10 years ago, how many people were there? Compare it to today, with today, right? The numbers are.
Oh yes. But you see, the problem, I think, or the discussion is more of a geographic discussion. If you take the value in North America, and when we're talking about salary kind of value, and then you compare it to what's been going on, you mentioned Bangalore. I mean, in India, well, the salaries in the US have gone up. I think they've plateaued, though. I think, honestly, we have reached a point where the salary average is going to just stay at a steady state here, because we're constantly going to have about the same population of actual CCIEs, actual experts. While I watched in India, the salaries came down half since my first visit there back in 2010. And literally, it went down from an average of around 60,000 to about 30,000 US dollars. And then you're looking at the rupee going down the tank. So, I mean, it's only getting worse. But the population there has done it to themselves. A lot of dumping, a lot of credibility was lost. But here in the US, it doesn't have the same impact. So I would say anyone looking for their certs, especially around collab, are fishing in the right area. So you're teaching in an area I truly believe in. But there's something else that everybody was complaining about, how SDN, software-defined networking, what's the impact on the collab side? Is it much at all?
Collaboration technologies, if you just look at what Cisco do at Cisco Live, the presentation, look at how big DevNet is right now. There definitely is a transition. So we have, just for the, I don't want to go too technical here, but you do have two sides of the collaboration hemisphere, whatever it is, global sphere. So you've got the on-prem side of things, which is large customers, defense, DoD, that type of thing, education, hospitals. You do have a lot of cloud now. Cisco bought Broadsoft. They had Spark or WebEx, whatever it's called. I lose track of what it's called these days. So for a collaboration engineer, it's not quite SDN, but there's this shift to the cloud and a much more of emphasis on programmability and DevNet, how you can be the glue between different clouds, and how are you able to benefit an enterprise. So it definitely does impact a collaboration engineer. And the Collab version 2 does somewhat address this a little bit. I don't think you can just solely rely these days, going back to your previous question about the value of a CCIE, I don't think you can just rely on a CCIE, which maybe 10 years ago you possibly could have done. So having some other skills to back it up, whether it be development skills or security is huge. Security within collaboration is huge. So yes, it has impacted it, and you just have to keep up with the technologies. Collaboration version 2 does that to some extent. You do have to learn a bit of APIs and a little bit of programming, not that detailed. There is a bit of the old world on-prem technologies being tested, and also, just being a good engineer. That's what it's about. And so, even those folks in India, there's plenty of guys around the world who have been really tainted with that brush of dumpers. There's a ton of good engineers in India. We must mention that. People are going to have to keep up to date, and the CCI is just one part of that. I always tell my customers, CCI is not the be-all and end-all. It's extremely important. Half of the reason is everyone else, a lot of other people have it that you're competing with. But being multi-vendor, in this day and age, here we are talking about Cisco on Zoom. Microsoft is big in the collaboration world. There's a lot of, Zoom are very big.
Yeah.
Being multi-vendor, having a bit of programming skills and a CCI is a perfect blend.
Yep, I tell you what, that's a pretty high plateau right there. But I get asked all the time by clients who are looking to hire CCIEs. The first question I ask is why? Why do you want the cert? Is it because you don't know how to technically vet a candidate and you just assume the CCIE is going to make sure they can do just anything you want them to?
That's a great question.
Yeah, and so I challenge them, and oftentimes I talk them out of getting one because I let them know that my team can vet them, and then they can put them in front of their engineers to find out that, yes, we did a good job. But, what's the future like? I mean, for collaboration, you mentioned cloud. You're the oracle here. Look into your crystal ball and tell me a little bit about what they should expect in their careers next.
We probably someone's going to watch this in 5 years' time and think that guy didn't know what he was talking about.
That would be me, not you.
Yeah, it's very difficult to look beyond 5 years. Right, 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, should we say? Would we have thought that this is where we'd be today? And you have to be a really smart person, a really smart, forward-thinking individual to see that this has happened. And so where we are in 5 years, what's the future for collaboration? Well, first of all, I think the CCIE is all about making better engineers. So what you ask your customers, someone hiring a CCIE,
Yeah.
it should be in alignment with, with being a good engineer. The learning process that everyone will experience is going to make you a better engineer. Even someone who just got a buddy to tell him the answers, it's very difficult for that guy to pass. He or she has most definitely improved as an engineer, which is a good thing, right? That's what it should be about. It shouldn't just be about answering some questions on the test and not really improving. It's about improvement. So, in 5 years' time, I do think a lot depends on what Cisco do in that time frame. They've had AI, the collaboration leader within Cisco, Rowan Trollope, has left Cisco, and a new replacement's come in, and she was from an artificial intelligence company. That seems to be a massive thing with collaboration technologies. You can see what Google are doing that. It's going to be critical. So whether that's in 5 years, 3 years, 5 years, I don't know, but that's definitely something you can't ignore. Being the glue that will help an enterprise, a customer, integrate this set of clouds or products with this set of clouds or products. That's where I think there's going to be a lot of value.
Excellent. So we're running out of time. I want to give you a chance to tell people how to get in touch with you. I see your sign behind you, and you appear to be in your classroom, and this is a pretty neat looking place. So let folks know how to reach out to you and what you're most excited about offering now.
Yeah, I just randomly had my sign behind me. It was just completely random. It wasn't intentional at all. But my website is collabcert.com, and you can get in touch with me on Spark or on an email, vic@collabcert.com. We very much specialize in, at the moment, CCIE training. We're doing a massive push right now to get ready for version 2, which goes live August the 6th. So we're running out of time on the old blueprint. I still have a lot of customers trying to get this out the way before the changes happen. And then we're going to focus the second part of this year on version 2. And I myself will be going to do the test as well. And I won't let you know how I get on until I pass that, by the way.
Hear about this. Does it make you sweat?
and yeah, well, as you say, I'm in downtown San Jose. This is my classroom facility, and I love what I do, and it's my passion, and hopefully it continues to be that. And I love interacting with people and training people, both in person and online as well.
Yeah, we're a couple of very lucky guys. We're doing what we're passionate about, and that's one reason I think we're such good friends, is because everything else is easy when you've got that locked down, right? Your passion, right?
It's all about that, all about passion. And EMan, I would like to just add that you've been a great influence on a number of plenty of my students. You've place them in, and even a small chat at Cisco Live goes a long way. You may not even know their name, but you've also been in that space as well. So it's not all about me or the CCI trainer. You've actually got a place as well. So,
well, I appreciate that very much. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call this. This is a wrap.